Welcome to Scum Team.
I'm currently in pursuit of losing bag.
I'm in a sick mother.
Welcome to the Scum Team Podcast, Season 2.
Again. We weren't recording. Or we had no...
We started this already, this episode, and then we found out one of our mics wasn't on. But at least we caught it this time. Because there's been past episodes of doing this. So, yeah, we back. We back. This is a message from the trenches. So, we just wanted to give a life update. Basically, we had peak, and that was a whole thing. Naya was moving out.
That was the whole thing.
We were all being developed by God. That's a
Still are.
thing. So we just kind of took a little break, and it felt like a good moment to pause with the last episode, the question and answer episode. That was fun, but we're back. We're back, baby. Back like we knew it.
We're back. I don't know if we're better, but we're back.
I would not say that we're better, but we are back.
Hip is hurting.
For better or for worse, we back. So, Naya, take it away. Where you been? How did moving out go?
I'm poor.
Amen.
How
is living on your own, though?
It's nice. It's a little different because I still have a roommate, but it's nice.
Do you miss the kids?
I do.
No, you don't.
I actually really do.
That's crazy.
Well, me and Noah took them out Friday. And literally, I could tell they all missed me so much. Like, even Silas, and he's literally a brat.
He's so bad.
Yeah, I guess we'll get in the car and be like, wait, is Naya coming? And I'll just, like, look at her and she'll think, oh, yeah, she don't live here anymore. Let's be for real.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of stuff happening fast. But it's good. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we... right around peak, if you watch the vlog, you may not watch the vlog and watch the podcast, so if you're not caught up there, basically I started experiencing some voice issues right before peak, and kind of sang through it, got through peak by God's grace alone, and then after I got back, went and saw some doctors and got put on vocal rest. Just as of last week, I couldn't talk or sing or speak. Was on vocal rest for a week, and then finally got in to see a specialist where they stick the thing down your throat. I'll link that here so you can watch it if you're interested. And they looked at my vocal cords, and I didn't have damage, thank God, because if there's damage, then you have to get surgery and all this. But there was signs of extreme overuse. I think just like I sing hard during services. Obviously, I know good technique, but when you're in the spirit on the Lord's Day.
What's funny?
The fact that this is the second time.
This is the second time we're saying this. We're just like going off our notes at this point. It's hard to stay in good technique singing, and then added to that, me starting to write and arrange and stuff, recording a lot more, singing a lot more. I just overdid it. So the doctor was like, you need to shut up for another month.
At least somebody said it.
A lot of people could say it, and a lot of people, I won't listen. So
that's the truth.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm healing. I'm not allowed to sing. I can talk quietly, and I can't raise my voice.
Right.
Just saying. So that's where I've been. But I feel like Paul in 2 Corinthians. He wrote to the church.
This is not.
He wrote to the church in Corinthians. He said, 5 times I received at the hands of the Jews 40 lashes, less 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I was adrift at sea, on frequent journeys, in danger from rivers, dangers from robbers, danger from my own people. It'd be different when it's your own people. Danger from Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers, ooh, in toil and hardship, through many a sleepless night, in hunger and thirst, often without food, in cold and exposure, and apart from other things, there is the daily pressure on me of my anxiety for all the churches. Who is weak? Am not I weak? I feel like
It's giving Job.
kind of, yeah, but I feel like that's what it is like the being in the trenches for God. Like that was Paul being like, greetings from the trenches. So that's what
Greetings.
this is. But Naya had a point in our first take. I mean, we're coming back strong in the second one, but in the first take, what did you say, Sister Naya? Take it away, prophetess.
Literally, I only say this because I'm pretty sure one of you said it in class, but like, I was talking to some of the college and career girls yesterday, and we were talking about just life, and I was like, well, it's a privilege to be crushed by God. Like, you know, being crushed by anyone or anything else is even worse. So,
yeah. Well, and it's something I've learned in this period of not being able to worship, lead, and sing. It's forced me to look at parts of my ministry and parts of me and see where, I don't know if this will make sense, to see where I'm weak in my ministry, because a lot of times our strength can make up for other parts. So like say you are a leader and you're a great speaker, but you're not a good organized person, or you're not a good details person. Your great speaking skills can make up for that, right? And like pick up in the areas where you slack. However, your voice gets taken away and you can no longer speak. It's really going to make you see, oh wow, I'm really weak in these other areas. I think being a leader or any sort of ministry, not just leadership, you need to be developed in multiple areas. And what this break vocally for me has taught me is like where I'm strong, I'm strong, and where I'm weak, I'm weak. So trying to put more focus into the areas. My strength, I feel like, is leading worship. My strength is being able to be in the pulpit and flowing with the service and feeling that. My strength is not digging out and seeking other people who can do that, but this has forced me to do that, and it's forced other people who are just background singers to be like, hey, step up, I need you to lead this. And they're like,
it's been awful.
fucking terrible. I haven't done it that much.
You did great though. You really did. Good. You did really good.
Except not listening to me when I was yelling at your ear.
I'm sorry. Like, it's so hard to hear you sometimes. No, but like, I don't know. I'm not built for that. Like, I'm just a background singer.
This season is really, really different for me. Like, one thing about God is that He's always going to keep you on your toes if you actually have a relationship. Like, He kindly keeps it interesting. And this season, like, if I can be transparent, if I could tap out, I would do it right now. But then seeing how literally my husband, the one that I'm supposed to help and be his, I don't even know, like, he literally cannot sing. So like these last couple of weeks, whatever, he's asked me to step up and sing, and I'd rather drink vinegar by the gallon than to ever do this. But like, and truly, like, I told him, I was like, as soon as you're back, dude, I'm out. I'm out for a while. I need to take a good break. Just because life and personal things where I feel like God just needs to work on me, like, but like having to put those feelings aside and just serve, not only as, because like worship is the root of it all. Like, if I'm not doing it like out of a place of worship, then I really don't need to do it. But like, then it's like, not only do I feel that tug towards that, but then I feel like, oh, I need to literally help my husband while he can't do it. Like, Anyway, so it's been awful. I hate hearing myself sing. I can't wait to hear you come back so we can.
Yeah, I feel like, not that you, how do I say this? I don't know. I feel like the church just responds well.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not saying that in a way of, like, it's because Seth has it all.
No,
together.
not because it has to be you. It's just like I feel like you are very much so like.
And that's like you said, it fulfills you. So like,
well, also I think too, and this is something me and Pastor have actually had conversations about. It's like giving space for people to grow, and giving grace for what the growth may look like. There's a lot of times, like I've been to other churches and seen like the service leader get up and say something, and you're just like sitting there, and like from my perspective, maybe not everyone, I'm a person who has been in leadership and ministry for a long time, so I'm just like, they're new, like they're not, like they're struggling to get out their thought, they're stumbling over words, they're new. I can give grace in that moment and be like, they're new, they got to learn this. It's like, how long do you give them space to do that? When's the right time to be like, they're not getting it, they gotta, you gotta coach them. And so for me, and again, the pastor's like, I'm the pastor, I need to be in the pulpit preaching, but also we have ministers who need to have space to grow up and learn how to preach, and our congregation also has to be familiar with their voice. And so that's, for me, they're very familiar with my voice because I've been doing this a long time. Just like pastor, when pastor's gone, everyone's like
we all have church.
We have church.
Yeah.
It's insane without pastors. I've kind of become that voice in the music department, and me and Pastor have talked about this. He's like, other people do need to step up. He's like, but it will take time for the congregation to be like, oh, if this person's leading, like I can tap in with them just like I would tap in with Seth. Like,
and I feel like low key, like, not that. I want to stress this. Like, I feel like our church is incredible. Like they usually will back you up, but like I feel like it's just like it's like a enemy thing, like that, if it can use that as a distraction. Not that they have any ill intent towards you, or that they don't like you, or that they don't like your voice, because like as soon as you get off that platform, you'll have people like, oh, you did so great, like it's so good to see you, like I love to see you being used. It's not that. It's just like, and this is why I feel like worship, if you are in your music department, a singer, a musician, a worship leader, anything like that, like it's so essential that when you're in that prayer room, that you are literally like putting your mind to like set the atmosphere, because you're already going to bump into that, like, because any distraction, I feel like the enemy is just going to be like, oh, I can use that, let me use that real quick.
Yeah.
And then you have pettiness in the church. You have preference, like that's one thing that I like the last couple weeks that he's been down, like that's something that I've been praying in the prayer room, like, God, like take control over my preference. Like I know that I do not want me singing, like I would prefer it if it was Seth, but like that's not available right now. So help me tap into your preference, what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it, who you want to do it with, through or with, like, so all these things. But like I feel like that is something that like it's just like anybody knew, you're just like, oh, okay, like,
well, that's something Pastor said on Sunday that it kind of hit me. He like really only tapped it and moved on, but he was talking about being right and getting over differences between people. He's like, because if you can make your desire to be right, if you can make your biggest desire to be right with the person, then you won't care what the method is to get there. Like if you're the biggest thing that you desire is to be right with someone, but I don't like the way you dress, for example, and what I have to get over.
The chunky loafers.
I'm so glad you didn't take
have
those.
to get over my opinion of you, the way you dress, then if my desire to be right with you is greater, then I'll ignore the chunky loafers. You know what I mean? And so he was saying this because he was like, a lot of times in the church when there's differences, our desire to be resolved with our brother and to be at peace with our brother is not greater than our desire to be right or correct. And that's something I've had to pray a lot recently, is like, God, I want to be right with you more than I want to be right in any situation. I want to be in the right place with God and in his will more than I want someone to be like, well, Seth was right. Like, I can be wrong if it means that I'm right with God, is what I'm saying. So what she was saying, like, if we can make our desire, what's the goal? If we can make that the goal, and then whatever we got to work around to get to that goal,
Gotta do it.
We can get there, and we can get it. But a lot of it is literally, a lot of it, I would say, like, a lot of problems in the church is just like, well, I don't like it that way.
That's your preference. Who
That's
cares?
your preference. Like, we got to want what God wants, or we're never going to get anywhere. And
I think a lot of, like, the nervousness, too, that comes with, like, people having to lead that don't usually lead is just because, like, we've gotten so used to just being like, oh, Seth will do it. And that's, like, that's in so many departments. Like, I feel like we're just now getting out of that when it comes to media. Like, because people are actually taking it over and, like, learning how to do it. But, like, at least for me, I was like, I don't have to worry because Seth will do it. And it's like, you can't, like, yes, Seth is the music leader, but also, like, we make up the music department as well. And it's not just all on, there's a big load of it that's on Seth's shoulders, but it's not all.
well, that's why I said, coming back to me, it's shown me where I was weakest at. Like, and my weakest part was developing someone else. Like, my goal, my dream is that if I have to go to a conference, if I have to go teach at another church, if I get called here to do this, to do that,
To leave.
is that in that instant that I'm gone, it don't feel like I'm gone in the music department. I want it to be like, wow, the same level of excellence is maintained while Seth is gone. And I know, like, you never feel as strong when your leader's not there. I get that. Like, when pastor's gone, we still have church, but we're like, when's he coming back? You know? But I want that, like, I don't care that I'm missed. I don't care that you guys are like, it's better when you're here. But I want the same, like, if I were to tune into the live stream and be like, that's exactly how it would be going if I was there. That's what I want. And it made me realize in this time, we're not quite there. And so I've been trying to push a little harder and be like, nope, let's do a little better, like, without me. And I think that's what God has been gracious enough to let me learn in this season.
Everyone's been doing great, though.
They really
Yeah.
have. Everyone's
been pushing past fear and
a lot of it is like people are
It
scared to
is.
step out and to do more than what they've ever done
I
before.
don't, like, for me specifically, like, I don't know about, it's just like, worship leader, you're literally leading people into, like, the holies of holies, and that pressure, I just can't, like, because I told Seth the other day, Saturday, I was talking to him as my husband, not my music director. I was like, you're supposed to lead people into, like, this place. I was like, and where I'm at, it's not a cool place. I don't want to lead people into that. And but also,
then lead them into that spirit of brokenness of, I can't do it, but God can, and through that He'll minister through you.
anyway,
all God really needs from us is, like, a willing spirit.
okay, but hear me out. Like, Sunday, I felt it was fine. I felt like vocally I did not have it. I'm not going to lie. But how are you going to say that to the one that throat is going out? Like, that's just crazy.
Going out. Okay, it was
Anyway, so, like, I'm sitting there, and then, like, it, after singing a little bit, like, it just turned into, like, my worship and whatever. And then how you do all that without crying?
That's hard.
Yeah, that lump.
I always feel extremely selfish whenever I, like, am scheduled to do that, because I feel like me being like, I'm so scared, I can't do this, like, it's all me.
I know.
And it's like, it's not about you, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't got no dog in this fight.
And then, like, I don't know, hearing, like, pastor backing me up and, like, the congregation, I was like, okay, like, it's really not about me. Because, like, right now, I'm over here shaking, but people are worshiping.
It's really all about taking everyone's attention, pointing it to be like, hey, do I have your attention now? Look at him.
Yeah.
Like, just stepping out of the way, or being sensitive to know, like, if God wants you to keep talking or not, or just, is this a moment where we just need to worship? And then how to convey that to the audience. And so the more broken you can become, though, honestly, actually helps, because it keeps that focus off of you and more on God.
If you watch our church live stream last Sunday, you won't be able to see it. Which I'm very thankful.
Okay, full disclosure, I took down the worship from one of the services because it was horrendous. Not shade to our team. Our team got wrecked, and the sound.
One thing about
just so bad, so I cut it down to
NLT
the
media, if they feel God, they're gonna leave their position.
And that's fine. That's fine. It wasn't something I was proud to have up.
No, like I was about to say, you could see me literally, mic to my side, head just down, and my shoulders just shaking.
Oh, we were.
So you had like 2 singers left, and like, they were carrying it in the service, but that's not something we heard all
It wasn't me.
I think it was like Haley. I heard a couple times, and then like I would hear Noah, and then
it was gone. Like,
it was really bad.
And we were there, so we know what happened, but that's not something that
it was a special service.
It really was.
That made the music sound really bad, but
is that when the light did that?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Anyway, being sensitive, I guess, is just really, really important.
And it's crazy because you would think like we literally do usher people into worship like every service, but like it's just different when you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's our message from the trenches today. Hang in there.
It's the good trenches.
It's the good fight. We the soldiers.
No.
Soldier boy, tell them.
All right, now
I'll swag your throat down.
Okay.